Volunteers for Community Impact, VCI for short, is one of Orlando's best-kept secrets in the nonprofit community. They've been around for almost 50 years, but very few Central Floridians know about them, but you may know about some of their programs. Today we're joined by Executive Director Hugh Jacobs to talk about their AmeriCorps Seniors program, RSVP, and what these volunteers do to help make Central Florida a better place to live, work, or recreate. And Hugh, I have that song Matchmaker, Matchmaker going in my head because you said this is the matchmaker for someone who wants to volunteer, and you find them the perfect place to volunteer. How does this work?
That's true. Well, VCI is a little different than a lot of other charities. You know, a lot of charities have a mission. Our mission is to feed the homeless, or to spay and neuter animals, or to help people after a natural disaster. VCI is a little different in that our mission is to promote volunteerism. And so we want everyone to volunteer. We don't think that government can do it all. We don't think that business can do it all. Margaret Mead once said, the only thing that can change society is a group of concerned people. It's the only thing that ever has. So RSVP is that sort of program. If someone is over 55 and they want to volunteer and they don't know where to volunteer, or they don't know what organization would fit their schedule or their interest, they can call VCI and say, I'd like to volunteer with RSVP. And RSVP is sort of a business-to-business nonprofit where we partner with other nonprofits. We've got 100 community partners in Central Florida, 100 different nonprofits that say, we want your volunteers. So if someone contacts us, they can say, oh, I'd like to do this. And we say, we've got the agency for you. Or they say, well, I can only volunteer on Wednesdays. We're like, we've got something you can do. So we introduce them to a nonprofit, and then they volunteer with that agency and they help them fulfill their mission. Whether that's, you know, feeding the hungry, helping the homeless, tutoring children, whatever that mission is, our volunteers will help them achieve that mission. And if our volunteers decide, you know what, I said I can only volunteer on Wednesday, but that's my bridge game. I really need to find something on Friday afternoon. We're like, we can find you a different organization that will accommodate your schedule. So it is a matchmaker. Because
that's it. That's what I was kind of wondering. If maybe, you know, oh gosh, I thought I'd like to maybe work in a classroom with children, and then it just maybe doesn't quite work, or it doesn't fit my schedule. I can then go back to you and say, well, you know, Monday mornings didn't work, and maybe I'd like to do something with animals, or I'd like to, you know, do something else.
We love those volunteers. We have one RSVP volunteer that she's at half a dozen different stations. She volunteers to read to children. She volunteers to pack meals for the homeless. She, I think, even volunteers to help some of our elder seniors by providing sort of a entertainment activity at the senior center. So we've got volunteers that volunteer with RSVP, but they're partnering with lots of different organizations depending upon their interests, their needs, their schedule.
Right. You don't have to just stay with one particular thing if you have diverse skills or interests. And speaking of that, interests, you know, you're helping the agency, the packing meals or visiting the elderly, but what about the volunteer themselves? I'm sure this is a benefit for them.
It absolutely is. You know, Harvard has been doing these longitudinal studies for the last 100 years about the aging process and what happens to us as we get older. And one of the things that they revealed that it's kind of common sense. This makes sense, even though it's not something that's very popular. But when people get to their golden years, the thing that matters most to them is not if they're a man or a woman, or if they're white or black, or rich or poor. The thing that matters the most is how connected they are to their community. If they're connected to their community, their quality of life is vastly improved. Their mental health is better, their physical health is better, their attitude on life in general is better. And that's all from volunteering, from getting out and doing something for your community to make your community a better place and to keep yourself engaged.
I think that's what we really promote here at Active Lifestyles. We say you have to, okay, you're in your golden years, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a reason to get up in the morning, whether it's going to read to some children at the local daycare or whether it's taking meals to a neighbor. You need that purpose, and that's what really fulfills your life.
It does. It does.
And so through RSVP, folks can get in touch with you. We'll have all of the information, obviously. And you will play matchmaker and find the perfect fit for someone.
We will play matchmaker. We will find them somewhere they can volunteer that will appreciate their services, and they can feel absolutely satisfied that they're making impactful service for Central Florida.
Oh, thanks so much, Hugh. So if you're a senior who is looking to get out and volunteer, then be sure to visit vcifl.org.